Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Natax Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
And here we are once again. It is our town, Paris, on a beautiful Friday night. The grill is open behind me. Oh, man. The Grill Masters here, the Illinois Pork Producers Association. And we got some good food out here, as always. And, again, the weather is cooperating just perfectly. Let's take a look at that satellite and radar picture where we've got clear skies from end to end here. No issues at all for us as we go throughout the course of tonight. Take a look at the temperatures. Now, it's 84 degrees, but the nice thing is the humidity is still not terrible. It's definitely very tolerable across the area. So if you're heading out about on this Friday evening, you shouldn't have any issues, but it does get warmer for the weekend. We've got to talk about that heat and humidity. That is returning when we come back. WCIA3 News starts right now.
Now, from WCIA3 News.
We have to take some measures to try to protect the public.
Sangamon County is addressing recent outbreaks at restaurants and bars. What will happen to businesses if they don't follow the rules? Plus, Decatur Schools is going virtual. How the district decided on remote learning for its students.
Is it a public health emergency that requires these extreme and extraordinary measures?
And an attorney is once again challenging the governor's stay-at-home order. But this round of lawsuits hits closer to home.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 5.
We can't make everybody do anything altogether, but we have to take some measures to try to protect the public.
Sangamon County put new rules in place on establishments, including bars and restaurants, after an increase in cases of COVID-19. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. The rules match state guidelines for capacity limits, but also create new ways for the county to punish these businesses. WCIA3's Cole Hankey is live in Springfield tonight. So, Cole, how is the county planning to deal with these rule breakers?
Well, they instituted a classic three-strike system. The first violation will result in a fine, and that fine will go up the second and third time. Any other time after that, any other violation could result in a loss of license or the business being closed down altogether. Now, the rules match the state guidelines. Businesses have to stay at 50% capacity or max out at 50 people, and standing room is restricted to only 25%. Sangamon Public Health Director Gail O'Neill said these changes are crucial if the county doesn't want to move back to phase 3. But even she doesn't know what could lead to that big of a step backwards.
The state has data and tracks our testing numbers and our positivity numbers. I don't think there's an exact time where it says, okay, you've done this, now you're going back to 3. We don't want to do that, and I haven't heard that discussed at all yet.
The rule change comes after a steady increase in cases in the county since late June. And in the last 2 weeks alone, the county has been averaging almost 21 new cases per day. Springfield Mayor Jim Langfelder also instituted a similar three-strikes policy at the city level. Several businesses around Sangamon County have also temporarily closed because employees or people that visited there tested positive for COVID. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey, WCIA3. Your local news leader.
All right, Cole, thanks. Taking a look now at coronavirus numbers across the state, there are 1,500 new cases in Illinois. That brings the total to more than 168,000 diagnosed. 19 more people have died from the virus in the last 24 hours. In total, there are more than 7,300 COVID-19 related deaths in Illinois. The Vermilion County Courthouse is closed today after an employee there at the circuit clerk's office tested positive. A judge says the employee had not been assigned to courtroom duty for several weeks, and employees have followed social distancing and mask guidelines. Everyone who works in the office has been required to be tested and follow quarantine recommendations. A decision on when to restart court procedures will be made after test results are returned. Many school districts have decided to go with hybrid learning, but Decatur Schools is going remote. All public schools will have virtual learning for the first quarter of the school year, but in-person help will be available for students with individualized education programs or IEPs and English language learners. Coaching will also be available for parents to help prepare for virtual learning. The superintendent says numbers show in-person classes would not be safe.
Just all those factors plus the numbers over the summer, we had fully anticipated the COVID-19 to be declining by now, right? And for a while it was, but now it's surging up, not just nationally, but locally.
The district also urges parents to register with their schools so they have updated information. Officials in Logan County are searching for a missing teenager. They say Caden Patton has been missing since May 15th. The 17-year-old's missing from Lincoln. If you've seen him, you're asked to call Lincoln Police. We have that number on our website. A man from Rochester pleaded guilty to making a threat against Congressman Rodney Davis. Randall Tarr admitted to calling Congressman Davis in November, leaving a voicemail and threatening to shoot him. That voicemail was sent to Capitol Police. Their caller ID helped authorities track him down. Sentencing is set for November 20th. Making a threat to a federal official carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. The voter recount for Macon County Sheriff is reaching a new stage. That recount is running close with Sheriff Chubby Brown clinging to an 18-vote lead for now. This gives Brown a total of 18,982 votes. Jim Root has 18,964 votes. Over 1,000 votes, however, are contested, which means they're headed to court. We spoke with Brown. He thinks the lead won't change after court. Root has not commented. The attorney with several active lawsuits against Governor Pritzker over the stay-at-home order is filing more lawsuits concerning COVID-19. Attorney Thomas DeVore filed lawsuits in 6 counties, including Sangamon. DeVore is challenging whether the definition of a public health emergency as defined in the Illinois Emergency Act should be applied to all 102 counties in the state. He says if certain counties don't meet the emergency definition, the governor's proclamation should not apply to them.
The law requires there be in the county, a widespread, that's the language it uses, loss of life. Is 33 out of 198,000 widespread loss of life? I would suggest no. Doesn't mean that loss of life is not tragic. Is it a public health emergency that requires these extreme and extraordinary measures? That's the question.
DeVore's lawsuit against the IHSA is set for a preliminary ruling next week. He doesn't expect any rulings on the public health emergency filing until mid-August. Good news is 2 bridges on busy stretches of road are getting replaced. We'll tell you what it means for drivers.
It's simple. Slow down and move over.
And a woman in Georgetown is asking drivers to keep an eye out for bikes. Why? She says safety has become a big problem.